Good morning, and welcome to your daily morning horoscope for Friday, 2nd May 2025. Aries. Something you feel you desperately need right now is missing, and it's very well hidden. You may search the house for it and drive yourself crazy in the process. Do you really need it that bad? If so, sit for a moment and try to collect your thoughts. If you can't, leave it for now. You may find it by chance or through a sudden incident, so relax and hang in there. Taurus, don't listen to gossip today. Any rumors that are spreading are likely to be based on false assumptions and totally outside of the realm of reality. Yet, someone who loves to talk is very convincing. Take anything you hear that you can't immediately verify with a grain of salt, if not the whole shaker. There's definitely something weird going on, so please try to avoid it. Gemini, a luxury you've been craving could seem very tempting today. Make sure you're ready, willing, and able to spend the money to get it. Think about it carefully before whipping out your credit card. Do you really want it that much? Is the expense feasible right now? If so, go for it. Luxuries aren't always a waste of money. They can do wonders for your self-esteem. Cancer. Emotional turmoil may overwhelm your usual objectivity and good sense today. Family problems could weigh on your mind as communication between you and family members may be lacking. You might not feel in touch with what's going on. Try to encourage them to talk to you. If they won't, move on. Sometimes people want to deal with their troubles on their own, and it's their choice. Leo, your imagination could fly high today. Whether you're into writing, music, or dance, make the most of your creative inspiration. If you don't, your ideas may vanish as soon as they appear. If you're too busy, at least make time to jot down your insights and any possibilities for developing them. Then you will have a record you can return to for a future date. Virgo, doubts about a friend may plague you today. Did this person borrow money? Promise to do you a favor? Can you depend on this person? The best way to judge this is by their track record. If they've been undependable in the past, chances are they might be again. It might be best for you to turn to someone else today at least. Your friend is best to be left in the clouds. Libra, confusion might get in the way of anything you hope to accomplish today. You may feel like you're walking around in a daze, uncertain of your actions. Try to stay focused and be your usual practical objective self. It might not only come as easily for you as it usually does, but you can do it. Have some coffee and make a list of what needs to be done. Sometimes that's all it takes. Scorpio, spiritual and metaphysical concepts may seem murky to you today. Ideas that friends could accept as matters of course might feel strange. Don't get into an argument. Ask about books, websites, or magazines that you can consult for more input and hopefully clarity. Find out about future lectures on the subject. It should all come together eventually. You just need to be patient. Sagittarius, a strange, bothersome feeling could plague you today, as if you can't remember something you need to do. Don't drive yourself crazy over this. Chances are you haven't forgotten anything but had a rather irritating dream. If you can't seem to shake the idea, try asking your subconscious to pull up that dream. Write it down. Once you know what it's all about, you will probably feel free again. Capricorn, is a romantic partner having trouble communicating with family? If so, be prepared to hear about it today. Be a good listener. Your understanding and objectivity will be greatly appreciated. Your partner probably isn't seeing the real facts and needs an outside party to point this out. However, avoid the temptation to patronize. You could end up in some doghouse drama. Aquarius, listen carefully when you receive instructions today. Your mind may not be as sharp as usual. If you aren't careful, you could get on the wrong track and end up having to start all over again. Don't be too shy or ashamed to ask questions. It is always better to ask a question than make an unnecessary error. Proceed slowly and use tactics that will get you through the day. Pisces, a heightened sense of idealized romance could hit you today. If you aren't currently involved, beware. That wonderful new person you've just met may have a well-hidden side. If you're currently involved, expect a simultaneous high from romantic exhilaration and insecurity that maybe your beloved doesn't love you anymore. Either way, try to forget it. You will be more objective tomorrow. This has been your daily morning horoscope for Friday, 2nd May 2025. Do have yourself a wonderful day.
Well, what do you know? It's Friday. Yesterday was a holiday. I hope you enjoyed it to the fullest. It was May Day. That's the start of my month, the best month. We're not arguing with somebody else. But it's now time for us to go over, see what's happening with our news department, see what they've cooked up for us to know about. And then, of course, when we come back, We got some features.
Good morning. Time now for the news with me, Timothy Polio. Mushroom production is on the rise in St. Lucia, and 25 young men are now being trained to meet that growing demand through the Boys to Men Mushroom Agribusiness Pilot Project. The program equips participants with hands-on cultivation skills, business training, and expert mentorship.
Our goal is to basically develop the entrepreneur holistically. So we want to give you the money, yes, but also we want to give you the essential skills that you need to basically help you become a successful entrepreneur.
In a series of heated exchanges during a sitting of the Senate on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, government and opposition senators expressed sharply contrasting views on the proposed 2025-2026 budget.
This budget, I see it as one that is thorough, comprehensive, and it has a conscience. This budget represents the competence, the commitment of a leader who really cares. It is inspired by a caring and compassionate government that is committed to advancing this country and its people. And I want to make it very clear, Madam President, before I take my seat, that I give unequivocal or my full support.
Finally, from us this morning, and still on the political front, the deputy political leader of the opposition United Workers' Party, in honoring the late Sir John Compton, speaks of the integral role the former St. Lucian leader played in bringing him into the political arena. Mr. Joseph Frost won and contested the Castries Southeast seat in 2006. He says the visionary mindset of Sir John is an asset which St. Lucia requires at this time.
When I told him, Sir John, I don't want to be involved in elective politics. I can work with the party, I can campaign with the party, I can help you find a good candidate. He told me, I don't need you to help me find a good candidate. I want you to be the candidate. So my entrance into the political arena was directly influenced by him, and I treasured the opportunity to have been able to serve with him, though for a very short period of time, but there was a lot to learn from Sir John. His mannerisms, his way of doing things, his general outlook.
And that's the news. Thank you so much for watching. Join us at noon for our next news major, the Lunchtime Report. I'm Timothy Polio. Good morning.
All right, guys, we need to take a break. We're coming right back. Stay with us. Is full of, well, the Caribbean in rather, and St. Lucia included, is full of a lot of really brilliant young people, you know. One such young man is Ethan Fletcher. I don't know if you've ever had the privilege of meeting him, but I had a sit down with him. I finally have the opportunity to have a sit down with this young man here. His name is Ethan Fletcher, but of course, some of you may identify and be able to relate to him as well. I definitely connected with this young man as a spoken word presenter. I was at some event, can't remember what it was, and the young man was brought on to do a piece. And I mean, there's people that do spoken words, and then there's people that do spoken word. And the delivery of this young man caught my attention. The young man delivered a piece, and by the time he was finished, my mind started to tick. I'm like, okay, he had me thinking. And in my opinion, that is what spoken word is supposed to do. When a person deliver a piece of whatever topic of the moment, you're supposed to be left with your mind sort of like in a boggles, because like, wow, Gassa, really? You mean for all this time I just did, and yo, but yeah, in truth, you know. And that's exactly how you left me at that event. So Ethan, when did you start when did you realize you had that calling, that gifting to deliver spoken word? When did you start to dabble into it?
Right. So when it comes to the spoken word, was more. I started off with more music.
Okay.
Right, more hip hop, spoken word. So the spoken word kind of derived from the hip hop.
all in the
from
same,
when I was young, right? So when I was young, I was doing a lot of writing and hip hop, and then I saw a freestyle by a certain artist, and then when I saw that freestyle, I decided, back then when I was a Christian, I was more using it to try to reach people. So I was calling it lyrical preaching at the time. I didn't know what spoken word was.
right.
I had no idea what spoken word was. I didn't know what it was. I thought poetry was rose are red, violets are blue, and end. So I decided, no, let me take freestyle, and rather than just doing like the traditional freestyle way, rhythm after rhythm, let me try to connect to people and speak to people. So I started to put the rhythm into conversation.
Aye, aye, aye.
And then eventually I started doing spoken word, and then someone came to me, they told me, oh, I like your spoken word and whatnot. And then I realized, okay, so there's something called spoken word. So in some way, you could say I created spoken word, but because I didn't know what it was, I had no idea what spoken word was until it was brought to my attention that this is called spoken word. So, yeah.
Right. No, but you're very passionate about the religious side. A lot of your delivery within the spoken word, well, we know now it's spoken word. So a lot of your delivery within that realm surround, your passion of wanting to educate, wanting to open conversation when it comes to religion and Christianity and these things. So you'll use a lot of that, your spoken word, to deliver on topics related to that. And I know recently you've been, you've been exploring with the Hebrews and, some of the knowledge that you've gained there. You plan to utilize that platform to do that as well. Tell me about it.
The spoken word targets as many categories and aspects as possible, whether it may be a religious aspect, whether it may be a historic aspect, or maybe it just may be an aspect to encourage people and whatnot. So one of the targets, like you mentioned, is our history, and I believe our history ties deeply with our spirituality and the scriptures. And when I say the scriptures, I don't mean the scriptures from a religious standpoint, the scriptures from a more historic standpoint, because the scriptures are our history that we wrote down, and basically it was put into a religion. So this is one of the reasons why I said that when I was a Christian, I started doing the spoken word, but now I've drifted away from religion, more on the spiritual aspect, more on the historic aspect of our history and who we are and where we came from. But generally, concerning the spoken word, I try to do anything I can to encourage people, educate people in any kind of way I can. So I use that as a platform to do such, right? To think, right?
Don't just go with what you've been told, Force yourself to think a little bit, sometime outside of the box, and you might be surprised what you come up with. Right. Where can we find you? Do you do online stuff? Do you normally do your spoken word? How do you get to express? How often do you get to express in that field?
So when it comes to writing a spoken word, it's not something I do often. Mostly I try to do it based off inspiration, because I believe there's more rawness and emotion in there. But I do post my stuff on social media, and whenever I get a chance to perform, what I'm called to perform, I try to perform, as much as possible, just to, again, educate people, encourage people, speak to people, and just basically showcase the talent.
Right. There's a thing, Headfunk. Do you know of Headfunk? Do you normally work alongside with them?
Yes, I've worked with Headfunk a few times, yeah.
Right. Wonderful. Because I was about to ask you, do you believe that enough platforms has been created where persons like yourself with that gift can get to showcase? What's your thought? You can be real with it.
Yeah, I don't think there's much platform concerning spoken word. I don't think it's a really popular platform. I don't think it's widely popular. I don't think you get much opportunities to use spoken word as an avenue to really stand out or make something of yourself in that aspect. I think it's on the level right now, I guess, in the Caribbean, or maybe it's just in Lucia, where you can only just do it as a hobby, really. You can't really do it as a way of means, as a career, really. So, but I mean, something I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about the music. I'm passionate about hip hop. I'm passionate about spoken word. So I do it as much as possible once I get the passion, the excitement, right?
Right. Where can we find you? You said you post some of your pieces. I would love to go and look at some more.
You could check social media on Instagram, and you could check YouTube. I think that's where I must post. You're looking for ethan.j.r.fletcher on Instagram and YouTube. It's just Ethan Fletcher. You should find me, St. Lucia, spoken word. Yeah.
Well, Ethan, we wish you all the best, man, and continue to, this is definitely a gift. And like I said, I saw this young man and I was blown totally off. Keep doing what you're doing.
Sure. Will do. Thank you very much.
actually, Rainforest Jazz is on again. Here's the information you need. Oh my, it is that time again. And I get very excited about Rainforest Jazz. Let me tell you, there is something about the ambience. It's different. It is, everything makes sense in that wonderful, serene, you just had to walk with, don't tell me walk with my little repellent, but wow, what a beautiful atmosphere. Now, you could have that event and not have any performers, because just being in that space is already a vibe, but thankfully, they've added on some entertainment to the thing. So it's on again. And Dr. Tekla Lewis, my good auntie here, has been brilliant. The first inaugural year, I was there with you, and it was beautiful. And last year I wasn't there, but this year we're back on again, and we're about to go and transform the Babonneau Rainforest once again. I am extremely excited, and I know you are very excited. A lot of work has been going into this. How is it going, Doctor?
All right. It's going good. It's going good. Babonneau Rainforest Jazz is going to be a vibes.
Yes,
It's really going to be a vibe. But like you said, even without any bands, just a hi-fi,
Yes.
it can be a vibe. But of course, this year we have 5 bands.
Nice.
And in the 5 bands, it includes a steel band. So we have Cross the Bridge. It's a Bouillon band from Dominica. They are our headliners. We also have WCK band. Everybody know WCK. We have Impacts band, and we also have African Roots. And of course, the award-winning steel band, Babonneau Steel Band. And apart from that, we have a solo band,
Wow.
the Gara Capes solo band. And of course, our theme this year is Bouillon and solo. So we really want to bring something that relates to Babonneau, and both of them are relative to the community.
Absolutely. How vital, how important is you as a Babonneau girl, strong, and Babonneau people are very proud here. Being able to curate something like that where they can actually feel the authenticity of themselves, the authenticity of Babonneau, what it is that they're about, and realize that, that in itself is a selling point, It continues to boost the community, the morale of the community people and the spirit of the community as well. Knowing that they've got something that is actually so unique that you can actually commercialize it and put it out there, and persons can come and take in that authentic self and really enjoy it and go home with something different. I mean, how important it is to ensure that you hone, that vibe, that atmosphere.
It is important, specifically, let me take a page from the Minister of Tourism, our Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Ernest Hilaire. The reason for having a community jazz is to ensure persons from the community benefit first and all.
Absolutely.
Apart from having the vibes in different parts of the island so that everybody can feel part of the Jazz and Arts Festival, in the community, it's really to create economic development and also to allow persons within the community to enjoy something that happens in the island holistically. Yeah. So, for example, we have 25 minibus drivers who are going to be shuttle bus drivers for the day. Wow. We have persons within the community who are renting spots in front of their property for parking. Wow. For different parking, for VIP, parking for production, etc. So they make money. Right. The vendors at the booths are persons from the community. As a matter of fact, we have 2 aspiring chefs in Babonneau. And both of them are going to prepare meals for all our patrons. And not just meals. We're doing everything Babonneau.
Yes, man.
So poultry from Babonneau. The wild meat from Babonneau. Wow. So you can get a little agouti, you can get a manikou, you can get shrimps. Anything that is produced in Babonneau, whether it be from the river or from the land, you will get it that day. We even have a baker baking bread live on scene. So you can get your hot bread and butter. We'll have somebody roasting corn. Nice. We will have somebody in the cottage industry. So you can get a gegesh a lababad. You can get pemi. So anything you have to wait until Creole Festival to eat, it's going to be in Babonneau on Saturday.
Right.
So it gives persons within the community to really benefit from their community. Absolutely. Our local bands are from Babonneau. Nice. The Capesh solo band is Babonneau. Right. The Babonneau steel band is Babonneau. So everybody benefiting from Babonneau.
I love it. Well, just break down again. It's Saturday. It's what time? Where can we get tickets?
Okay, it's Saturday at 2 p.m. So it starts from 2 p.m. Why? Because we want persons to enjoy the ambience of the rainforest sky rides.
Yes.
It's one of our adventure tours area in St. Lucia, very well marketed, global, and many Lucians doesn't even know where it is. You have somebody from the UK, from the US, from Russia, all over the place. They come down to the rainforest. But St. Lucians, a lot have not had the experience. So it's from 2 p.m. on Saturday. We have a park and ride, so persons do not have to worry. Everywhere we will be assigning them to park, have security.
Okay.
Our security in full force. So nobody don't have to worry about Babonneau. No. Security in full force, police in full force, your vehicles where you park, well protected. So persons will really enjoy the vibes. And for the ladies that always walk with a little fan, you ain't need that in Babonneau. Not in the rainforest.
It's cool
and nice.
Right.
Yes.
And we can get tickets. Where we can get?
You can get tickets from Steve Barber Shop.
Uh-huh.
They can buy tickets from Four Circles.
Right.
They can buy tickets from the rainforest itself. So persons that want to walk around looking for tickets online or Steve Barber Shop.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No, and from 2 o'clock we're rolling out and we inside. We loud and we proud.
Rise and shine with SocaCize. Leading the wine this morning, we have Laurie, Vernell, Owen, Suzanne, and Shani. Let's begin. For this morning's workout, we will be doing a cardio soca jam routine to Great Parade by Marshall Montano and Patrice Roberts. Let's begin. That was our session for this morning. I hope you are feeling sexy, sultry, and strong. Thank you for choosing to flaunt with SocaCize.
Oh, that fish! Helen! I catch a fish!
You get one.
Oh my God!
Really did.
My God! I catch one, John?
No.
No?
Oh boy,
But there was something.
yeah, but I see.
I see a thing.
I'm fighting something there, you know. Yeah, but it was jumping.
There was something jumping there, man.
It go under the rock. Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
Fling it.
Well, anyway, guys, as you can see, that's always an adventure when we're out for the morning show. So I'm here with two cool guys. What's your name? Kim.
Yeah, man, Alvin.
Kim and Alvin here teaching me how to fish. I think we catch something. We're here, what? We catch something and he going on our big stool. I can't. Listen, have a great weekend, guys.
Of course.
And we see you guys again on Monday for another DBS this morning. I go and see if I can catch a big fish. They say there are plenty of fish in the sea. I want a specific fish. I don't want the plenty. I want one. A barracuda looking for. See you guys on Monday.